This summary is about the book Mindset Secrets for Winning. In this book, you will learn about the immense power of your thoughts and how they shape your entire life, covering key lessons on developing a winning mindset, mastering discipline, facing fear and risk, and building mental toughness. Have you ever wondered why some people consistently win, while others just barely get by in life? Yes, everyone has talent. But then why doesn't everyone win? Is hard work truly enough, or is there something else that sets winners apart from the rest? That's the point. Mindset is the real weapon for victory. You've heard it many times: change your thinking and your life will change. But is our thinking truly that powerful? The answer is yes, and perhaps even more so. Have you ever felt like you want to do something big, but something from within is holding you back? A fear, a doubt, a voice that says, "Can you really do it?" That voice is the biggest enemy of our victory, and if we can conquer that voice, no defeat in the world can stop us. This is not a story of people who won by luck. This is the story of those who conquered their inner world and changed the outer world, the ones who faced fear but kept moving, who stumbled, fell, but never stopped. You must have seen some people who are not ready to give up in any situation, no matter what the circumstances are. Whether resources are low or there's no support, they still think about winning, work for victory, and ultimately win. Do they know some magic? No, they just trust their thoughts. Mindset is not a fancy word. It's a practice, a habit, a lens through which you see the world. And the day you change the quality of your thoughts, your life's direction changes. There's a champion hidden in everyone, but the question is, are you ready to awaken it? Do you want to break those invisible chains of your thoughts that hold you back? This journey will not be easy, but yes, it is definitely possible, because when you program your mindset to win, there is no way left to lose. So let's open that door where your true strength is hidden, where a new beginning of a winning journey starts. And yes, remember, victory always starts in the mind and ends there too. Chapter 1: The Winning Mindset. Have you ever felt that you have the ability, you work hard, and you have big dreams, but still you don't reach your destination? It feels like something is missing. Sometimes it feels like luck is not on your side, and other times it feels like the timing is not right. But are these the real reasons? Honestly, these are just excuses. The thing that truly makes a difference is not outside, but inside. Us, our thoughts, our mindset. A winning person doesn't come from a different planet. Their heart also beats. They also get scared and tired. Yes, sometimes they also cry. But there is a difference. When circumstances get tough, they say, "Let's see what I can do." Whereas another person in the same situation says, "I can't do it." This one thought changes everything. Now imagine a runner. They are running a marathon. The path is long, the body is tired, and their breathing is fast. But one thought is constantly on their mind: I must not stop. And this mindset takes them to the finish line. On the other hand, there is someone who, as soon as they feel a little pain, starts to think, maybe I'm not made for this, and they stop right there. Now think, both have two legs, two hands, and equal air to breathe. The only difference is their thinking. Mindset is a lens through which we see ourselves and our world. If that lens is clean, the path also looks clear. If it is blurry, the destination also looks blurry. Sometimes our defeat is not defeat itself, but our mindset that forces us to lose. I have seen some people who fall every time, but they get up with even more energy the next time. There is a sparkle, a fire in their eyes, and that fire is born from a strong mindset. Yes, life is tough. It's not a sugar-coated fairy tale, but a winning mindset doesn't say, "I am afraid of losing." It says, "I will learn from losing, and then I will win." Now ask yourself, can you reach a new destination with the same old mindset? Is stopping every time the right way, or has the time come to shift your mindset? Think for a moment. If you start seeing an opportunity in every difficulty, a lesson in every setback, and a sparkle in every defeat, can you really lose? No, because then you don't become someone else's biggest supporter, but your own. And when your mindset is a winning one, no power in the world can stop you. So let's call that voice inside us that says, yes, I can, because real victory starts from here. Chapter 2. What's holding you back? Now that we have understood what a winning mindset is, let's move towards another truth, a truth that might sting a little but is necessary. Have you ever asked yourself, what is really holding you back? I mean, seriously, what is the reason you are not where you wanted to be today? Doesn't it sometimes feel like there's something, some invisible wall that comes in the way every time? We try, we think that this time it will surely happen, but then something happens that pulls us back. And the biggest deception is that we think that maybe the circumstances were not right, the timing was not right, or we didn't get support from people. But what if the real barrier is not outside, but hidden inside us? Yes, it might sound a bit bitter, but the truth is what it is. We ourselves become our biggest enemies. We accept our fears as the truth. We make our doubts the rule of our minds. Now think about it. When you're about to take a big step, what happens first? A voice comes from inside. What will people say if I fail? Am I really that good? And then we stop. But the fear that is holding us back is not from the outside world. It comes from the depths of our own selves. And the funny thing is that that fear, that doubt, that limitation doesn't really exist. They are just stories that we tell ourselves every day. Have you ever noticed that when you get very close to a goal, you suddenly start having self-doubt? Why? Because our subconscious mind tries its best to pull us back into the comfort zone. It is afraid of risk, it is afraid of change, and most of all, it is afraid of failure. But what if that very failure gives us the ladder that takes us to the sky? Look, everyone has a past that pulls them back. Some childhood memories, some hurts from relationships, some old failures, and we repeat them so many times that they become a program within us. Like, I'm an introvert, I won't be able to talk to people, or I'm bad with numbers, I won't be able to run a business. Who said all this? What rule determines what you can and cannot do? Probably none. We have just made an invisible cage for ourselves and have learned to live in it. But now is the time to break that cage, because until you break your self-made boundaries, you will never be able to take a real flight. For once, honestly ask yourself, is someone really holding me back? Or have I become my own biggest obstacle? The answer might be uncomfortable, but that's where the real change begins. And that's the mindset that sets you apart from the crowd. So let's write a new story from today. A story where trust speaks, not fear. A story where the past defeat becomes today's inspiration, and where every step takes you closer to your victory. Because the truth is, only one thing is holding you back: your own thinking. Now change your thinking, and the path will be made on its own. Are you ready to defeat your biggest obstacle? Because the real journey is about to begin. Chapter 3. What you think is what you get. Sometimes we think that our life is determined by our circumstances, our background, how much money we have, or which city we were born in. But if you look closely, the real architect of life is our mind. Yes, it's a little deep, but this is the truth. What you think is what you become. Now, imagine two people sitting in the same room. Both have the same opportunities and the same resources, but one rises and the other remains where they are. Why? Because one changed their reality with their thinking, and the other just kept thinking. Our thoughts determine the direction of our energy. Just like a radio frequency, we also send a signal to the world that we are tuned into, and the world sends back those things, those people, and those opportunities that match our thinking. Now, the question is, what frequency do you think on? Think about it. If you tell yourself every day, I am unlucky, I don't know anything, I can never be successful, what will your mind do? It will find proof that all these things are true. You'll try to do something good, and your mind will say,
"Oh, leave it. It's not for you," and you will stop. Gradually, you will become the identity of a loser. But if that very thought is reversed, if you get up every morning and say to yourself, "I am capable. I have that spark inside me. I can create what I want," then what if you just reset your life? This is not a motivational dialogue. It's neuroscience. The mind becomes what you repeatedly tell it, and then it acts accordingly, makes decisions, takes risks, and creates its own reality. Sometimes we listen to others' negativity and start to shrink our dreams. People say, "It's not that easy. You won't be able to do it. Your thinking is too big." And we also believe it. Maybe they are right, but what if they themselves never took a risk? That's why they are now stopping you too. That's why it's important to guard your thoughts. Catch every negative thought and ask, is this the truth or just fear? Listen to a real story. There was a boy who used to sit in his room every day and say the same thing to himself. "I have to become big, and I will." He didn't know how, when, or who would help him, but his thinking made a path, and today he's an inspiration to thousands of people. Now think, what if you were in his place? What if you, from today, made the same picture in your mind that you want to see in reality? What if your world changes in a few months? Because this is not magic. This is mindset. What you think is what you attract. What you repeatedly repeat in your mind becomes your actions, and that becomes your life. So from today, ask yourself every morning, what am I thinking? Is my thinking taking me forward or pulling me back? And if the answer is uncomfortable, understand that the time for change has come. Because yes, what you think is exactly what you get. Now change your thinking and write your own destiny. Chapter 4. Mastering the Art of Discipline. Discipline is a word that as soon as people hear it, they remember their childhood days, when they had to get up early for school. Mom would scold them and they'd wish for just a little more sleep. But at that time, we probably didn't know that this very discipline would one day determine the direction of our destiny. Tell me one thing. Have you ever seen a successful person who is not disciplined? You won't find one. Why? Because no matter how much talent, intelligence, or luck you have, without discipline, all of it becomes zero. Discipline is that invisible force that makes you stand up even when your mind has completely given up. It is taking action even when you want to sleep in. It is fulfilling your commitment even when you don't feel like it. This is what true discipline is. Many people think that motivation will be enough, but let me tell you the truth. Motivation can be deceiving. It comes and goes, sometimes high, sometimes low, but discipline walks with you every day, whether you feel like it or not. Now listen to a story. There was a boy who was very passionate. Every day he would make new goals, write plans all night, but the next day it would be the same laziness and procrastination. He thought that maybe one day everything would change on its own, but it didn't happen. Years passed, and he remained in the same place because he was just inspired, not committed. And on the other hand, there was another boy, an average one, with no special talent, but he was consistent in one thing: discipline. A little bit of hard work and a little bit of betterment every day. He neither slept too much nor thought too much. He just did it. Slowly, that very boy became someone no one ever expected him to become. This is the difference. When you make a promise to yourself that no matter what happens, you will definitely complete that one task, whether it is studying, going to the gym, running a business, or trading. Without discipline, no system can last. And yes, discipline is not always glamorous. It's boring. It's monotonous, but it is powerful because it builds the ladder to a big victory with small steps. So now ask yourself a question. Do you work on all those days when you don't feel like it? Because that's where the real change begins. The real test of discipline comes when the whole world is relaxing and you are quietly moving towards your dream. People often ask, what is the shortcut to success? And the answer is always the same: discipline. A little bit every day, without making any noise. Discipline doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means that when you break down, you put yourself back together again. When you miss a beat, instead of drowning in guilt, you get up and take the same path again. And most importantly, the reward of discipline is not outside. It's inside. A peace, a satisfaction, a self-respect that you get when you learn to control yourself. So yes, it's not easy, but it's possible for every person who is ready to make a true commitment to themselves.
Now you have to decide. Do you want to be average by making small compromises every day? Or do you want to be extraordinary by keeping small promises every day? Because discipline is not a talent, it is a choice. And the one who chooses it is the one who touches their dreams. Chapter 5. The Psychology of Risk. Tell me one thing. Whenever you have to make a big decision, a decision that can change the direction of your life, what is the first thing that comes to your mind? Excitement? Or fear? Yes, that slight fear that says, what if everything goes wrong? That quietly whispers in your ears, what if I fail? This is the psychology of risk. As soon as we hear the word risk, our mind starts thinking of the worst-case scenarios for the future. We think, what if the money is gone? What if the reputation falls? What if people laugh? But have we ever thought, what if everything goes right? Look, having fear is not wrong. Fear is a part of our thinking, an old survival instinct. When humans lived in the jungle, this very fear used to save their lives. But today, the same fear is stopping our growth. You get an idea to start a new business, to learn a new skill, or to speak in public. Your heart beats fast. A sparkle comes to your eyes. But in the very next moment, your mind brings a whole army of fears. What will people say? It's not for you. Many people like you came and went, and you stop right there. You neither do anything nor move forward. You just keep thinking, and slowly that dream that was once alive starts to die. But now think about all the successful people in the world. Did they have any guarantee, any written proof that they would win in what they were about to do? No, they also had the same fear and the same uncertainty, but they did one thing differently. They took a risk. Taking a risk doesn't mean being foolish. It means taking action despite the fear. Honestly, the biggest risk in life is that we don't take any risks, because those who don't do anything also lose, but without a fight. Now listen to a short story. There was a girl who used to think about participating in a singing competition every time, but would back out at the last moment. She was afraid. What if my voice falters? What if people laugh? But one day, she didn't listen to that fear. She listened to her heart. She went on stage, sang, and yes, her voice trembled a little, but the applause she received after the performance changed everything for her. That one risk gave her the confidence that 1,000 books could not give her. Taking a risk doesn't mean you'll win every time, but yes, you will learn something every time. You will become a little stronger every time. You will move a little further away from your fear every time. And most importantly, when you can say to yourself, at least I tried, a strange peace comes over you that those people who just sit on the sidelines and watch life go by will never get. So the next time an opportunity stands in front of you and fear starts to pull you back, close your eyes for a moment And ask yourself, what will my life look like if I do this? Because that's where the journey begins that becomes an inspiration for others. People don't take risks because they feel they will lose something if they fail. But the truth is, those who don't take risks lose themselves the most. So let's make a promise to ourselves today that we will let fear come, but we won't let it stop us, because life only changes when we look at fear and say, okay, it's not your turn now. Chapter 6. Developing Mental Toughness. Sometimes, life throws a punch that hits you right in the chest, so deep that your breathing stops, your heart sinks, and your mind goes numb. In such a situation, the question is not how much it hurt. The question is, what will you do now? This is the moment where the true meaning of mental toughness comes to light. Look, it's easy to stay strong when everything is good, when the world is praising you, when things are going according to plan, when everything is smooth. Everyone feels positive. But when you face rejection, when a loved one leaves you, when you don't get success despite working hard, that's when your mental strength is truly tested. Mental toughness doesn't mean you become a robot with no emotions, no tears, no fear. Rather, it means feeling those emotions, but not letting them control you. Have you ever asked yourself, how strong am I on the inside? I mean, everything looks fine on the outside, on Instagram stories, laughter, goals. But when everyone is asleep at night, when you are alone, are you still as stable on the inside? Mental toughness shows up when you get up even after defeat. When you hear a no, you say yes to yourself. When the world underestimates you and you quietly make yourself better every day. This is not a skill that comes in one day. It's a daily task, enduring a little every day, growing a little every day, learning a little every day, and most importantly, not lying to yourself. I have seen people who looked very calm from the outside, but were completely broken on the inside. And I have also seen people who fell and shattered repeatedly, but started over again. And today, those very people have become an example. Mental toughness is like a muscle. The more discomfort you face, the stronger it becomes. Now think about a trader. 2 of their trades went into a loss back to back. Now, for the 3rd time, they have to trade according to their system. But fear has set in. Their mind says, what if there is a loss again? But if that trader is mentally tough, they will acknowledge the fear and still take the trade because they trust their strategy, not their emotions. This is called toughness. When you don't let temporary emotions come between you and your long-term vision.
And yes, it will take time. Maybe you will feel lost, tired, and empty many times. But if you can make a promise to yourself every time, I will not give up, then understand that you have moved ahead of every person who is dreaming of victory while staying in their comfort zone. Do you know what the biggest reward of mental toughness is? Peace. That peace that you get when you know that no matter what happens, you will not break. So the next time life brings you down, when people say, he can't do it now, say to yourself with a slight smile, let's see what I become now. This is where a new story begins. A story that does not need anyone's permission to be written. It just needs a little mental toughness and an unbreakable belief in yourself. Chapter 7. The mindset of a super performer. At some point, we have all seen someone who is the best at everything. They top the class, are ahead in sports, and show perfection in their work. And we think, do they have a secret? But honestly, their secret is not outside. Their mindset is different. A super performer is not someone who always wins. It's someone who makes themselves better every time, silently, consistently, and relentlessly. Now, think about 2 people who enter the same competition. Both have the same resources, the same time, and the same guidance. Still, one touches the sky, and the other gets lost in the crowd. Why? Because one thinks, what if I lose? And the other thinks, what if I don't reach my full potential? This is the only difference. Super performers' thinking is completely different from ordinary people's. They celebrate their victory, but they don't get stuck in it. They ask themselves one question every day: am I still playing at the level where I should be? They don't want to be better than others. They want to be better than their last version of themselves. And yes, this thinking doesn't come in one day. It requires patience, self-respect, and most of all, brutal honesty with yourself. To become a super performer, you first have to break the myth that if I am not talented, I cannot be exceptional. Oh no, super performers are not born. They are made with their own hard work. Every day when those people look in the mirror in the morning, they see only one thing: another chance to prove themselves. They stay away from distractions. They don't count excuses. They never waste time. For them, every day is a mission. Now, don't think that their life is perfect. No, they also get tired. They also get heartbreak. They also break down many times. But the difference is that they don't stop when they fall. They understand, they learn, and then they start walking again. Their strength is not just their speed, but their consistency, even on the day when their motivation is zero. Now you think, do you just want to be good or extraordinary? Do you want to remain a part of the crowd or become someone whom people look at and silently think, there is something special about this person? Super performers are people who are allergic to the comfort zone. They are not afraid of boredom. They are afraid of the day they go to sleep without any improvement. So if you have that fire inside you, if you can fight with yourself every day, if you can keep working even without applause, then listen, you have started the journey to become a super performer. And remember, a super performer is not the one who runs the fastest. It is the one who takes one more step, even after getting tired. Now the decision is yours. Do you want to stay in the crowd or shine apart from it? Because as soon as the mindset changes, the story changes. So, now that you have felt this entire journey, understood it, and maybe found yourself in it somewhere, I feel like saying one thing from the bottom of my heart. You have everything inside you that you need to become a super performer. You also have that fire, that discipline, that dream. You just need to recognize the mindset that can take you from average to extraordinary. It's possible that until now, you have been underestimating yourself, stopping yourself with fear, failure, or the thoughts of others. But now is the time to have a new conversation with yourself. Now is the time to change that inner voice that used to say, I don't know if I can do it, and change it to, now I will do it. And show everyone, because there is no guaranteed path in life. But one thing is certain, if the mindset is right, the paths are made on their own. So let's make a promise to ourselves that from now on, no day will go by aimlessly, no fear will go by without being confronted, and no dream will be left incomplete without being tried. Your real competition is not with anyone else, but with your version of yesterday. And you can make yourself a little better every day. Yes, just a little, but you can truly change. If this video has touched your heart, if even a single line has shaken your thinking, then don't just leave it here. Write in the comments below, now I will not stop, so that it doesn't just remain a thought, but becomes an action. And yes, for more such videos that change your thinking and give your life a new direction, join Bookpedia. Every week, a new book, a new mindset, and a new reason to make yourself better. Like, share, and most importantly, don't forget to subscribe so that the next time your life trembles a little, we are right here with you, because this was not just a video, it was a beginning. Now the story is yours. See you in the next video with a new mindset. Thank you.